Well, Rotimi Fakajo joins me now on the program. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Well, Rotimi, last week we saw that investors were quite happy with the outcome of the monetary policy meeting, and they showed this by with the way they bought shares and the rest of it. And so the market actually finished in positive territory. But there were definitely some unusual kind of trade that happened at the market. Could you just talk us through what gave the market direction last week?
Well, you've mentioned it, Paul. It has more to do with the results that were released into the market. Majority, if not all of those results, were very wonderful. And we saw Zenith Bank and GT Bank being marked down for dividend adjustment. And I think to an extent that affected the market capitalization, so to say. But as such, we still saw the market ending 1.43%. I think the impact the dividend adjustment had on the market was significant because we saw the banking sector index going down by about 5%, mainly because of the adjustment, because we saw some good movement in some other stocks as well within the banking sector. So I think that was just about the unusual thing that happened because that had a very, very heavy effect on the capitalization of the banking sector stock and the market as a whole. So that was the exact thing that actually was unusual that happened in the market. But for every other thing, we saw that the results released were good and in fact actually impacted on the OSHA index positively.
Well, Rotimi, let's talk about some of those results that we saw coming in towards the end of the week just ended. For instance, we had Diamond Bank, we have FCMB and the likes of it. Could we talk about what the results really are? Do you think investors will be impressed with it? And how do you think the stocks will fare today? Because, judging from what we saw, the sectoral indices, that is, the banking index actually dropped and closed lower, 5.01% off to 366.25. And so one would have expected that based on the results, maybe investors were not particularly happy with their top or bottom line or even the dividend payout. And so we really saw them taking profit off some bank stocks.
Well, I think is always here and there for different stocks. I think for FCMB, we saw a great improvement last year. There wasn't dividend payment, and there is a slight improvement in their PAT, and at the same time they are paying a dividend of 30 kobo, and that definitely will impact on the stock positively. Then also we saw Diamond Bank. Diamond Bank came out with a very good result relative to what they did last year, but the quantum of dividend they are paying, even as they don't pay for quite many years now, the quantum of dividend they are paying is still not. Investors are really very worried about it because it is expected that with the kind of profit that they made, moving from about 30, the previous year they made about 27 billion, and this year they are making about 32 billion. And for a stock that is trading at about 6 naira 30 kobo, it is expected that they should pay more dividends with respect to the PAT than Sterling Bank or FCMB that is trading as just about 3 naira. So I think investors are not really delighted with this result, even as they have not paid dividends for a very long time. They believe that they should be well compensated this time around, that the company is back in profit and it's also having a positive retained earnings. I think the negative retained earnings was what was responsible last year, that they couldn't pay dividends. So with the positive retained earnings that they have right now, investors expected that they should do much better than what they are giving them. I think it is quite attracting negative reactions with respect to that, because by now that result should be tending above 7 naira.
What about for Lafarge Cement WAPCO? They also posted their full-year results sometime in the week just ended. What do you make of the results?
Well, I think that result is very good. I think if we see a very fantastic result, the PAT is solid, the top line is also very encouraging, and even if they are not paying much as a dividend for that particular year, I believe investors should still try to reason with them that they are saving their money for the rainy day. And that also, with the money being plowed back, I think it should really go a long way. For that result, we saw that they are doing just the dividend of about 3 naira 30 kobo relative to 1 naira 20 kobo that they paid the previous year. It's still very substantial because even with an earnings per share of about 9 naira 42 kobo, they are doing 330 kobo, 3 naira 30 kobo, which is just about 30% of the earnings per share. I believe investors really need to see the company managers, the management of the company, as being very prudent and forward-looking. And I think it's quite something that we should be giving kudos for.
Well, Rotimi, just before I let you go, today is the last trading day for the month of March. And most times we see a flurry of activities at the markets, and most times there's profit taking. And don't forget, today is also Monday. So what are your thoughts? What direction do you think the market is going to take today?
Well, I think the two things playing out now is really at two extreme ends. Today is Monday, and at the same time, it's the end of a month and also the end of the first quarter of the year. I think most likely we're going to see at least a good performance today in terms of value, because, like you said, it's some we want to take profit.
Yes.
But I think today the bulls will outrun the bears. I want to believe it that way. So we are going to definitely see the market cruising up, even if not significantly.
Well, thank you so much, Rotimi, for sharing your thoughts with us this morning on the program. And do have a profitable trading day.
Thank you.
Our Business Morning returns in just a moment. Please join us again.